Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to talk to you about something small yet incredibly powerful: your mouth. More specifically, the words that come out of it. We often underestimate the impact of what we say, but words can build or break, heal or hurt, inspire or destroy. The ability to speak is one of the greatest gifts we possess. But like any powerful tool, it must be handled with care. Words hold an immense power that is often underestimated in daily life. Every sentence we speak carries meaning, emotion, and energy that can shape the thoughts and feelings of those who hear them. Language is not just a tool for communication. It's a force that can influence decisions, spark movement, and shift perspectives. From comforting a grieving friend to motivating someone in despair, the right words at the right time can alter the course of someone's entire day, or even their life. We have seen throughout history how leaders, poets, writers, and ordinary individuals have used words to inspire nations, change laws, and stir revolutions. In our personal lives, the power of words becomes especially evident in our relationships. A sincere compliment can lift someone's spirit, while a harsh remark can scar them for years. Children grow up shaped by the words they hear from parents, teachers, and peers. Encouragement helps build their confidence, while constant criticism can leave them insecure and hesitant. Similarly, in friendships and romantic relationships, words of appreciation, honesty, and support serve as the glue that holds connections together. On the other hand, betrayal through lies or cruel statements can quickly tear those bonds apart. The effects of verbal interaction are profound and long-lasting. Moreover, the way we talk to ourselves is just as crucial. Self-control, the internal dialogue that runs through our minds, has the power to either empower us or paralyze us. Positive self-control can boost our confidence, keep us motivated, and help us overcome challenges. In contrast, negative words we tell ourselves, like "I'm a failure" or "I can't do this," can feed anxiety, fear, and low self-esteem. What we say internally often becomes our reality. This internal dialogue, though silent to others, shapes our perception of the world and our place within it. Therefore, mastering our words starts with how we speak to ourselves, before it extends outward to how we speak to others. In both public and private spaces, words can act as either a bridge or a barrier. In the workplace, professional communication can foster teamwork, resolve conflicts, and build respect. A poorly chosen phrase, however, can lead to misunderstandings, tension, or even job loss. Online platforms too amplify the power of words. What once would have been a single whispered insult can now reach thousands in an instant. The ripple effect of spoken or written language continues to grow in our digital age. In every context, understanding the power of words is vital, because once spoken, their impact can spread farther and faster than we might ever intend. Once words are spoken, they are out in the world, beyond our control, impossible to retrieve. Unlike objects that can be returned or actions that can sometimes be undone, words linger in the minds and hearts of others. A single careless statement can echo for days, weeks, or even years in someone's memory. Even when we apologize or try to explain ourselves, the initial damage may already be done. People may forgive, but they rarely forget how words made them feel. This irreversible nature of speech is why thinking before speaking is so crucial in every situation, especially in moments of anger or frustration. In emotionally charged situations, people often speak without filtering their thoughts. And those impulsive words can become a permanent stain on a relationship. For instance, saying something hurtful to a loved one during an argument might lead to deep wounds that outlast the actual conflict. No matter how sincere the apology that follows, the memory of the pain caused by those words often remains. The moment might pass, but the impact does not. That's why it's often better to pause and remain silent for a moment, rather than say something you'll wish you hadn't later. Even in professional or public settings, the consequences of speaking recklessly can be severe. A rude comment made in a meeting, an offensive post on social media, or a sarcastic joke told in poor taste can affect reputations and careers. In the digital age, where every word can be screenshotted, recorded, or shared instantly, the permanence of our speech is magnified. What might have once been a passing comment is now a digital footprint that can haunt a person for years. That is why the awareness of how irreversible words are has become more important than ever before. Furthermore, our words contribute to how others perceive and remember us. When people recall conversation, they often remember how we made them feel. And feelings are shaped largely by what was said. A single harsh word can overshadow a dozen kind ones. Even well-intended statements, if phrased insensitively, can cause confusion or offense. Communication is not just about intention, it's also about impact. And because we cannot unsay something once it has been said, we must learn to weigh our words carefully, recognizing that the damage caused by a moment of thoughtlessness can take a long time to heal. The way a person speaks reveals more about them than they might realize. Words are not just sounds or symbols. They are reflections of our inner world, our values, beliefs, and emotional state. A respectful, thoughtful speaker often demonstrates maturity, empathy, and self-discipline, while someone who constantly uses harsh or careless language may come across as arrogant, impulsive, or insensitive. In many ways, our language acts like a mirror, showing others what kind of person we are deep inside. Whether we are in a casual conversation or a formal setting, our choice of words sends signals about our level of respect for others and our own self-respect. People tend to judge us based on how we speak, especially when they don't know us well. First impressions are frequently shaped by how we use language. Are we calm or loud, polite or rude, clear or confusing? This is particularly true in professional environments where communication skills often outweigh even technical abilities. A person who speaks confidently but respectfully is more likely to earn trust and gain influence, while someone who interrupts, gossips, or speaks harshly may quickly lose credibility. The way we speak can either open doors or close them before we even realize it. Moreover, consistent patterns in speech show deeper personality traits. Someone who often criticizes others, makes negative comments, or uses sarcastic humor might be revealing their own insecurities or frustrations. On the other hand, a person who uses kind, uplifting, and inclusive language likely values harmony and positivity. Our speech patterns become habits, and over time, these habits form our reputation. People begin to associate our name with the type of language we use. Whether it's encouraging, inspiring, hurtful, or dismissive. In that way, speech becomes part of our identity in the eyes of others. It's also important to recognize that how we speak during moments of pressure reveals our true character. Anyone can speak kindly when things are going well, but it takes real strength and maturity to maintain composure, humility, and dignity under stress or provocation. When we are angry, tired, or under attack, our words become a test of our inner strength. If we lash out with cruel or thoughtless remarks, it shows a lack of control. But if we can respond with calmness and restraint, we prove that we are governed not by impulse, but by values and self-earnestness. Ultimately, mastering our mouth is a direct path to mastering ourselves. Reckless speech is one of the most damaging forces in human interaction, yet it often goes unnoticed until the harm is done. When people speak without thinking, driven by emotion or carelessness, they risk speaking things that cut deep. Claims may turn improper and spiritual and long-lasting. Some people can address their emotional pain. A single cruel comment can destroy someone's self-esteem, confidence, or sense of belonging, making them feel isolated or unwanted. The destruction caused by reckless speech is not always loud or immediate. It can be silent and slow, eating away at a person from the inside. In relationships, whether between friends, family members, or romantic partners, reckless speech can be particularly destructive. One harsh sentence can undo years of trust, love, and understanding. Even if someone later apologizes, the sting of those words may linger, creating distance and emotional walls. Arguments that spiral out of control often start with a single unkind phrase. Over time, repeated verbal offenses can erode the foundation of a relationship entirely. This kind of verbal erosion might not be visible at first, but it accumulates like cracks in a structure, eventually leading to a complete collapse. People may stay silent, but they often carry the pain of reckless speech deep within them. In professional and social environments, the consequences of careless words can be equally serious. Gossip, slander, insults, and inappropriate jokes can ruin reputations, strain teams, and create toxic atmospheres. An offhand remark in the workplace can lead to misunderstandings, mistrust, or even legal consequences in serious cases. Once a person becomes known for speaking recklessly, others may begin to distance themselves, unsure of when they might be the next target. The damage isn't limited to those who are directly affected. It spreads affecting the morale, unity, and productivity of entire groups. This shows how speech, when unchecked, has the power to unravel even the strongest communities or organizations. What makes reckless speech so dangerous is that it often masquerades as casual talk. People may justify their words by saying, "I was just being honest," or "I didn't mean it that way," without realizing the deep impact of what they've said. But intention doesn't always match perception. What feels harmless to one person may feel deeply offensive or painful to another. That's why it is essential to speak with thoughtfulness, clarity, and empathy, recognizing the potential consequences of every word we speak. It's not about overthinking. It's about being responsible, mature, and aware of the emotional landscape we affect every time we open our mouths. Many people mistakenly believe that holding back their words, especially in difficult or heated situations, is a sign of weakness. In reality, controlling what we say takes a great deal of strength and wisdom. It requires self-awareness, patience, and emotional intelligence to pause before speaking, to weigh the consequences of our words, and to choose silence over impulsive expression. When we learn to control our mouths, we demonstrate maturity. It is a mark of inner strength that this kind of restraint is connected to economic reserves. Wisdom in speech means valuing peace, understanding, and respect more than the temporary satisfaction of raising means relevant in a most understanding that not everything. Such control fosters better communication and healthier connections, proving that wisdom and self-control go hand in hand. Moreover, controlling our words means resisting the urge to speak out of pride, ego, or anger. It means refusing to allow fleeting emotions to dictate our speech. This kind of discipline requires practice and mindfulness, but it ultimately leads to greater respect from others. When people see that we do not lash out or respond with hostility, they are more likely to listen to us and take us seriously. Controlling our mouth sends a message that we are confident, grounded, and thoughtful individuals who do not need to prove themselves through careless or hurtful words. Finally, choosing control over impulsiveness also protects our own peace of mind. When we say things we later regret, it can lead to guilt, shame, or damaged relationships. But when we exercise restraint, we avoid unnecessary conflicts and preserve our integrity. Controlling our mouth means we are the masters of our words rather than slaves to our emotion. It allows us to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, And in doing so, it builds our character and deepens our capacity for empathy and understanding. This is why control in speech is truly a form of wisdom, not weakness. In a world that often values quick reactions and constant communication, choosing silence can seem counterintuitive or even uncomfortable. However, silence is a powerful and intentional response that can speak volumes without uttering a single word. It allows us the space to pause, reflect, and choose our next move wisely. In moments of conflict, misunderstanding, or emotional turmoil, remaining silent can prevent us from saying something harmful or regrettable. Sometimes the most profound statement we can make is simply to listen. That is you, human. That you, that you, that silence also creates an opportunity for others to express themselves fully. When we refrain from interrupting or rushing to respond, we show respect and empathy towards the speaker. This act of attentive listening can de-escalate tense situations and foster better understanding. By not immediately reacting, we give ourselves time to absorb the message, understand different perspectives, and respond more thoughtfully when the moment is right. Silence in this way becomes a tool of patience and wisdom that builds stronger, more respectful relationships. Moreover, silence allows us to avoid unnecessary conflicts. Not every provocation or criticism deserves a response, especially when emotions run high. Reacting impulsively can escalate arguments, hurt feelings, and damage connections that took years to build. Sometimes choosing silence is about protecting ourselves and others from needless pain. It's a deliberate decision to preserve peace rather than winning an argument or proving a point. Knowing when to speak and when to stay silent is a skill that reflects emotional intelligence and maturity. Finally, silence can serve as a powerful form of communication on its own. In certain situations, saying nothing sends a clearer message than any words could. It can express disapproval, calm, contemplation, or even strength. For example, a moment of silence during a discussion can encourage reflection or signal that words are inadequate to express a particular feeling, or silence can hold weight, convey meaning, and foster respect. Thus, understanding and valuing silence as part of communication enhances our ability to control our mouth and interact more effectively with others. The words we choose have the profound ability to either heal wounds or deepen them. When we speak with kindness and compassion, we create an environment where people feel safe, valued, and understood. Healing words can comfort someone who is struggling, offer hope to the hopeless, and mend broken relationships. The simple act of choosing words that uplift rather than tear down reflects a deep awareness of the emotional power embedded in language. In this way, speaking to heal is not only a gift to others, but also a practice that nurtures our own character and sense of empathy. Healing through speech requires intention and mindfulness. It means thinking carefully about the impact our words might have before we speak them. This doesn't mean sugarcoating or avoiding difficult truths. Rather, it involves delivering those truths with sensitivity and respect. Even criticism or correction can be offered in a way that encourages growth instead of causing defensiveness or shame. Words chosen with care have the power to open hearts, inspire change, and build bridges where walls once stood. When we make the conscious effort to heal with our words, we contribute to a more compassionate and understanding world. On the other hand, speaking without regard for others' feelings can cause harm that lasts far beyond the moment. Harsh words, insults, or careless remarks can wound deeply, sometimes leaving scars invisible to the eye but heavy on the soul. These harmful words can create barriers between people, breed resentment, and diminish trust. When speech is used as a weapon, it fractures relationships and disrupts harmony. Recognizing the potential harm in our words encourages us to pause and choose a path that promotes healing instead of division. Furthermore, speaking to heal helps foster empathy and connection, which are essential for meaningful relationships. When people feel heard, respected, and encouraged through our words, they are more likely to open up, share honestly, and reciprocate kindness. Healing words build emotional safety, making it easier to resolve conflicts and navigate difficult conversations. By prioritizing healing over harm in our speech, we create spaces where understanding and compassion thrive, ultimately strengthening the bonds that hold us together. In conclusion, the words we choose to speak carry incredible power. The power to build up or tear down, to heal or to hurt, to create peace or provoke conflict. Controlling our mouth is not about suppressing our voice, but about harnessing that power wisely and responsibly. When we speak with thoughtfulness, kindness, and restraint, we not only protect ourselves and others, but also contribute to a more understanding and compassionate world. Let us all commit to mastering our words, knowing that the true strength lies in the wisdom to speak with intention and the courage to sometimes remain silent. Because ultimately, how we use our words defines who we are and shapes the legacy we leave behind. Thank you.